First of all, we have the carbohydrates, which are biologically characterized as an important source of energy of the body. They are the main components of the molecules, like DNA or RNA. In chemical characteristics, they are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It has twice hydrogen as oxygen. The main building block is sugar. They are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or the compounds which produce units of such type in hydrolysis. They give structural support inside of the cells. They reduction to alcohols. Talking about physical characteristics, they can be monosaccharides, disaccharides, or polysaccharides. They are characterized by the sweet taste, also for the stereoserism and anomerism. The proteins have biological characteristics such as being the fundamental structure of cytoplasm cell. The antibodies and hemoglobin are formed up by proteins. They take part in the metabolism process. Proteins are considered the bricks of the body that make up the bones, tissue, muscles, hair, and other parts of the body. Proteins give heat and energy to the body. Also, they aid to repair cells. In chemical characteristics, the proteins regulate the temperature and catalyze the body chemistry in form of hormones and enzymes. The proteins with reaction with alcohols give us esters. It has a carboxyl group, an amino group, a hydrogen, and an R group. Physical: proteins are colorless and tasteless. The solubility depends on the pH of each one. Proteins have a molecular weight of 5 to 300 kilodaltons. They have colloidal properties. Then we have the lipids, which are biologically characterized of being an energy storage, for maintaining the ace of temperature, also for being a membrane lipid layer formation, and help into the synthesis of hormones or vitamins, and also for being part of the metabolism of living things. In a chemical way, they are classified according to the type of alcohols they have. They have a functional group of amines. They contain glucose and can be either hydrophobic or hydrophilic. They are considered unsaturated. In a physical way, they are not soluble in water. They are soluble in non-polar compounds. The head is polar while the tail is non-polar. The nucleic acids are physically characterized for being long polymers, also for being soluble in water, as DNA or RNA are highly soluble. They are found on solid state. Then we have the dietary comparison. First, we're going to compare lipids on the United States, Germany, and Japan. In the United States, we have that 19% come from vegetable oils, at 2% from oil crops, 1% from eggs, 3% from animal fats, 10% from milk, 13% for meat. Then, in Germany, we have a 12% that come from vegetable oils, 1% from oil crops, 1% from eggs, 8% from animal fats, 9% from milk, and 12% from meat. Then in Japan, a 13% of the lipids come from vegetable oils, a 4% from oil crops, a 3% from eggs, 1% from animal fats, 4% from milk, and 12% from meats. Then we go to the proteins. On the United States, a 10% from milk, 1% come from eggs, 13% from meats, 1% from pulses. On Germany, a 9% come from milk, 1% from eggs, 12% from meat, and 0% from pulses. On Japan, we have that 4% of the protein come from the milk, 3% from eggs, 12% from meat, and 1% only from pulses. Then finally we have the carbohydrates. On the United States, a 3% come from starchy roots, 3% from fruits, 16% from sugar and sweeteners, 22% from grains, and 10% from milk. In Germany, we have a 4% from starchy roots, a 3% from roots, 13% for grains, and a 9% from milk. In Japan, we have a 2% from starchy roots, 2% from fruits, 10% from sugar and sweeteners, and 39% from grains, and at least we have a 4% from milk. Then, as a conclusion, we can say that in order to have a sustainable production, we need to think about the producer and consumer. First of all, with the producer, we can create new sustainable techniques from farming. We can include new technologies, such as biotechnology, modifying the plants in order to resist the climate change and to consume less water. Also, we can create vertical farms to use the residual space of cities, or we just can make our own urban farms where different types of plants can be produced. Then, for achieving sustainability, we need to have clear the different sections of it. After this, the next step will be to start creating or finding new sources of energy for doing it and for using it on your daily life activities. One other thing that would be needed would be to be conscious about of applying the 4 R's, not only for us but for the rest of the society.